Back on the SportsMax zone, we're still talking football. Jamaica's schoolboy football program has produced some notable talents over the years, some of whom have gone on to distinguish themselves at the senior level. Former Jamaica College defender Maliek Howell is hoping to be next in line. Howell captained Jamaica College to several honours, including a 5th consecutive Issa Manning Cup title back in 2017. He was a key component of a dark blues team that reigned supreme in Jamaican high school football. Now fresh from playing with the Reggae Boys at a recent mini tournament in the Austrian capital of Vienna, the 23-year-old is keen to cement his place in the Reggae Boy setup. Like many others, he's hoping to capitalize on every chance to impress the incoming head coach of the Reggae Boys. Maliek Howell joins us live in studio today. And Maliek, great having you here on the SportsMax zone. We did so many hours of commentary with you doing splendid things on the field for Jamaica College at a flank defensive position. Let me start here. Is that still your operative position on the football field?
Yeah, well, first I want to say thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yes.
Very much appreciate that. And yeah, as you know, I went to college and I've still been playing that right back role that you know me as. And also I've been fluctuating in the centre back position also. So I fluctuate from centre back to right back in games at my old school. Being one of the better players on the ball and stuff like that, the coach is rather putting me in that middle position of the field in the central defence to start plays and stuff like that. But I still have that speed and that overlapping ability in me, yeah.
Yes, I remember, because you had also played in the Digicel Elite League, wasn't it?
Yes.
The under-20 tournament for a developmental program sponsored by Digicel. Can you talk briefly about your experience in Austria in the mini tournament, how much playing time you had, and how did it feel at the senior level with the Reggae Boys?
Well, as you know, it was my second time getting called up to the Reggae Boys. I got called up in January. That was my first time playing in Peru. And making the second time going again, it was a wonderful experience. I remember that day I found out that I'm going to be in the team. I was very excited, knowing that I'm playing against Ghana and players from Ghana, you have Boateng, stuff like that. Some name players, Morocco, you have Hakimi and those guys, but those guys weren't the guys we're going up against. But to know that you're going to play against guys like that, and knowing that you're playing against Qatar and they're hosting the tournament, you know that's an opportunity, and it's a time for me to like showcase myself and get seen by people in the European market.
Yeah,
so it was great.
Yeah, when we looked at the right back position for the Reggae Boys over the last 2 or 3 seasons, including Nations League football, the CONCACAF Gold Cup and World Cup qualifying, it appeared to be a pretty fluid position. There was no player who, you know, cemented his position there. How enthusiastic are you about, you know, sort of putting your hand up to take a hold of that position?
Well, as you know, I'm hungry. You know, I just finished school, got my degree, and right now I have some opportunities that's waiting for me to get to make that step into the professional level. So I'm just here working hard and waiting for the moment for the coaches to give me that chance, so the Jamaica can see me, the world can see me, and just let my talent and my ability show for itself.
Yeah. What did you get your degree in?
Business admin.
Mm-hmm. Maliek, we're seeing some footage here of University of Memphis against Temple. Yeah, to say it looks cold is an understatement.
Very cold. Very cool. It was very
That's
cool.
you on the ball there now?
Yeah, that's me on the ball.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Will he shoot? Oh, pass. Excellent.
Wow.
Yep. And a good finish as well.
That was a perfectly weighted pass.
Yeah,
when you play those passes, George, they have to be perfectly weighted, or else they go to waste.
Yes, indeed. Who do you visualize yourself playing as, Maliek, if you still do that? I know that when we were all children, we imagined ourselves to be this great player we see on the TV or read about. Who do you pattern yourself after?
Right now, it's Kyle Walker for me. You know, that speed, that explosiveness. I think I have that within me. So yeah, I'll say Kyle Walker for sure.
Yeah, Kyle Walker identified just this week by Neymar as among the toughest opponents he's ever faced. Neymar says he's intelligent, he's fast like lightning, and he's a very intelligent defender. So yeah. Kyle Walker gets a reference, and Maliek says he patterns his game after him. Let's go back a little bit, Maliek, and dial it back. Let's talk about Ballaz Academy and the facilitation that you got there through Andre Virtue's work, along with his staff, and the come-up.
Yeah, so for me, you know, Ballaz has been the foundation for all my technical skills that I have right now. Being comfortable on the ball, I'd say that came from Ballaz Academy. I give a lot of credit to Ballaz. You know, Tariq McGee, Norman Campbell, Zelana Barnes. A lot of us grew up in that foundation of Ballaz, like from a kid. Before it looks like what it is now, when it was just grass and dirt and stuff like that, and we had to be practicing Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Friday sometimes, you know. It was very key in terms of like the fundamental. Like we did a lot of technical stuff. We did juggling day in day out. We did technical stuff, controlling the ball out the air, working on first touch, stuff like that, and then trying to be more tactical than a lot of players in Jamaica, you know, and stuff like that. Do it in, week out. I felt like that's what made us who we are today. It wasn't even that much, but could you imagine if we were training like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, because you want to be a professional player. As I'm getting older, you start realizing you put more time into school and less time into the game, and I'm this. Imagine if I put more time into the game and less time into the school, what I would actually become, how much more better I would become. So I'd say Ballaz definitely played a key role, a cement role in my foundation and my ability and skills that I've developed.
You know, Lance, very well that there was a time when a coach, whether at a club or at a university or college, it's the US, so it's college, yeah? The college coach would get a Jamaican footballer and they would say, oh, you know, this young man is athletically gifted. He can run for days and he has brave and everything. But technically, he's lacking. What I hear Maliek say and describe based on his foundation at Ballaz is that no coach ever looked at you and said that you were technically deficient.
No, I've never been to a coach that said, hey, I'm not technically good enough, but there's always room for improvement.
Of course.
Know, there's always room for improvement, and Ballaz cemented that technical ability, those basic stuff that we needed, you know, to be seen by people and to be different than everybody else.
Maliek, there is so much money in football. There is so much glory that's potentially there in the game waiting for you. Of course, most players who play for professional football never win anything. That's a fact. It's just a handful of players who win the trophies, and then the teams that win the trophies tend to win the trophies and win the trophies and win the trophies. Yeah? But there's so much glory in the game. At this stage of your life, with the foundation you have, and an ode to the Rastaman, the groundation that you have, do you get the sense that it's your time now to take that next step and go into the professional world and ensure that Maliek Howell does something that someone can look back on and flip through the pages of and say, yeah, this is Howell at work? Is it your time now?
Yeah, I definitely think it's my time. I think God is putting everything into place right now. He's giving me opportunities. He's blessing me. He's favoring me. And I think that I put God first in everything I do, so I never take the credit for everything. God is always a key role in like everything that I've achieved. So I feel like, yes, it is the moment now. 2022, I feel like this is my breakthrough year, and this is the year that Maliek Howell will be back on the map in Jamaica, and people start hearing about me again. Not that I'm off the map, but I was in college, and you know, a lot of people here, they don't really like looking at college. But yeah, I'll definitely be dominant back.
There are so many players who I'm sure you would have come across in your time. You were still playing for JC in 2017.
Yes.
So around about that time, you would have had the outstanding Dintil schoolboy, Kahim Paris. Would Paris have been around that time?
Yeah, he was.
There you go. And the reason I mentioned Paris is this. Just 2 weeks ago, I was actually speaking to his agent. Kahim Paris signed for Dynamo Kiev. Dynamo Kiev is one of the outstanding clubs in Ukrainian football, a prominent club in European football. And in case people are saying, well, Dynamo Kiev didn't turn out top footballers, I can name three. Oleg Luzhny, who played for Dynamo Kiev and then was bought by Arsenal and was a mainstay in the Arsenal team for a long time. Sergei Rebrov, who left Dynamo Kiev and went to Spurs in England, didn't work out for him. But the greatest example of all is what I'm leaving for last, Andriy Shevchenko, who lit up the Champions League for Dynamo Kiev. I remember watching him when I was in high school, and it was something to see. AC Milan, Serie A Player of the Year, top scorer, one of the greatest strikers of the modern era. Shevchenko went there. That's where Kahim Paris is. When you hear a story like that, a guy who you played against, a guy in the same competition as you, a guy who would have come from the same country as yours, and with the same footballing profile, it must give you confidence that you too can find yourself at European football's top table.
Yeah, it does. It does give me confidence. It gives everyone confidence also, and it also opens doors for other players. You know, if he's doing it, yeah, why can we not do it too? But that doesn't say we envy him. Everybody's excited for him.
Of course.
Everybody wants to make it, and everybody has goals. You know, everybody wants to be that person, to be a provider for their family. So one man gets that opportunity and creates it for another man. It's very good. I'm always excited, and I know that the fact that he's there, that other Jamaicans would be seeing, and they could start looking and say, oh, look at what Paris is doing, you know? Mm-hmm. They want another Paris, they want another Tariq McGee. Yep. He's in KC Youfen, a close friend of mine. So, you know, the players being there and knowing that they played Manning Cup and stuff like that. You have a Duncan McKenzie that's at Graphica right now. Mm-hmm. And you never find players leaving Jamaica and going straight into the professional way. Mm-hmm. You know, you have that happening a lot now, you know. It's very much that we all eye and feel like, yeah, we can.
Just as you come in, Lance, the Duncan McKenzie is the JC captain from last season in this schoolboy football competition. A top young man.
Yes.
Yeah, highly promising like Maliek is.
Yeah, you spoke earlier on, Maliek, about the platform that you got from Ballaz International. Let's go back quickly as well to your schoolboy career at Jamaica College when Miguel Coley was the successful coach there. A highly rated coach, a lot of purists in Jamaican football have a lot of confidence in Miguel Coley's ability as a coach. How much did he offer you as the coach while you were at Jamaica College?
Well, tactically, you know, he's a genius. You know, so that tactical part of the game, he definitely displayed it to us a lot and making us being very coachable. Like, you would not play for Miguel Coley if you're not coachable. And also, he doesn't use boys, he uses men. So he always give us that intention from in pre-season that, hey, this is Manning Cup, it's not a Boeing Cup, you know? So those type of stuff that he always tell us, and then we going out there on the field and training, it cements in us. And also, as I say, he's very tactical. So the tactical side of the game, he makes us like, so when we leave from Jamaica College or you go to a youth and you have that understanding already, like, if you're a right back, this is what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be on the left side of the field. If you're a centre back, you're not supposed to be a striker every time on the field unless you go into a runner play at the moment, you know what I mean? So he's that type of person that make you understand the tactical side of the game. Because I remember like when we played against Georges in 2015, that was my first year when I was very, very young. Me and Maggie was the only one playing. We lost 5 in the Super Cup final in stadium. Was
man, you didn't get 5, I remember.
Yeah, against Georges. And I remember everybody was saying, George is going to beat us again. But Miguel was with the national team at that time, and he wasn't present. He wasn't present in the entire week for that game. So when he came back from the national team and we lost 5, he was different. He come with a tactics. A tactics like something called a balloon, stuff like how we're supposed to send Alex, where he's supposed to send him, and where we play.
That's Alex Marshall.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was planning for St. George's College.
And it definitely worked, you know.
Yeah. So you met them again, and what happened?
We beat them 1-0 in
after
the Manning
losing,
Cup final.
After losing 5.
That was a Dawkins back header from their number 4. What's his name? Big strap.
Zeran Sewell.
Up and Dawkins with the back header at Sabina Park. Yeah.
Can you explain what you meant just now there by Miguel Coley saying he coaches men, not boys? Just explain the point that you're making.
What I'm trying to say is like that personality that you have to have when you're going out there on the field. You can't be like, you make a mistake, you get sulky, or you're crying like you're a mama's boy, you know. It's a man. You have to be very sturdy and strong. Know that when he yells at you, you know that he wants the best from you, not that you're going to curl up and get into your shell and stop playing proper football or play the way you're supposed to, but you still carry out that task, you know what I mean? And a lot of other stuff that is not really clicking in my head right now.
You're still in touch with him? He's in where? Qatar?
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day.
I saw him recently here.
Yeah.
He's in
but he coaches in Qatar at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're still in touch with him?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with him.
Maliek, Jamaica and the Reggae Boys, 1998, for me, I'm disappointed that 1998 is the only thing we can hang our hat on when we talk about World Cup football. I really think that we should have been there at least once, maybe twice, subsequently to 1998.
That was before you were born then, right?
Yeah.
You were born 99.
Yeah.
So 98 happened before he was born. Anyway, go ahead, George. Yeah.
Maliek, do you and your counterparts ever sit and visualize being at the World Cup for Jamaica? And if you do, what do you think it will take for a player like you to help us get there?
if I'm being honest with you, since I've been in college in 2018, there are moments at time where I'm not in the national team. I got called up, the first time I ever got called to the first team was in 2018, August. I think I was 19 at the time, but I wasn't allowed to play at the time because of eligibility stuff with NCAA, so I was ruled out to play with the first team. And then I got called up the other day again. But if I'm being honest with you, when I train really hard, and not just hard, like smart. When I would train, I pray, I tell you I pray. So before I pray and train, I always pray and say that the training I'm putting in is to be in the World Cup 2026. If I'm being honest with you, as he said that, like that's how I train. Like I train and be like, playing in the World Cup is one of my goals, apart from getting a professional contract. But I always, before I train or when I finish prayer, I said the training that I put in is a part of my development or eating nutrient for preparing me for the 2026 World Cup. And it's not like I'm in the team, I'm just saying it into being and make sure that it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Malik, I heard a criticism recently, can't recall exactly where it came from, that the Jamaica coaching hierarchy and the selection panel at the JFF doesn't feed into the US collegiate system enough to pull some of the talented schoolboy players up from the Jamaican program into the national program, because they're in the minority. Players coming from US collegiate football into the national program, I would say, are in the minority. It happens sometimes, but there is a view that it needs to happen on a more sustained basis, because in opposition to a lot of the foreign-based players who they often go for in England, who don't have that sort of connection with Jamaican football, you Jamaican schoolboy footballs going into collegiate could never ever be accused of not having that connection with Jamaican football, because that's what you grew up on. Having seen the US collegiate system and Jamaican players in there, do you believe more collegiate players from Jamaica should be given an opportunity into the national program?
Well, for me, I would say that I'm being truthful. Once you're playing good and you fit the style of play that the coach wants or desires, you should be given that chance to showcase yourself and see if you could cement your spot. Because what I've learned and I've experienced after playing in different levels and seeing everyone play, like going to play against Morocco or playing against Peru, everyone controls the ball and pass the ball. But it's who pass the ball faster, it's who think faster, it's who use the ball faster. It's not much complicated stuff that they're doing that we can't do. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying? So for a player playing in the collegiate system and not getting that chance, I don't think it's fair, but I would say once you're playing good football, you're playing fast, you're doing the right thing when you're supposed to be doing it, you should be given that opportunity to represent the country and see if you could cement a spot in the team for sure.
Maliek Howell, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We're out of time. We want to wish you the best here from the SportsMax Zone. We have been witness to your growth and development from a wee schoolboy to now big man, playing big man football. We've commented on many of your games, and we're proud of what you've done with your life and your career to date, and we want to wish you all the best. Just before we go, I know you spoke about Kyle Walker, Reece James, Trent, Alexander-Arnold. Who's better?
It's a preference with the coach.
Yeah.
So it's not the player for me.
Yeah.
If you're a coach that like a right back that can cross the ball a lot, and that's your in your philosophy or your system of play,
Trent,
then you get Trent. If you want a player that's very fast and athletic that can recover faster, then you get Kyle Walker. If you want a player that's technical, is good on both sides, you can get a Reece James. So it depends on the coach and what you want in your playing.
Which of the three are you most like?
Me? Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker.
For sure.
Yeah. Kyle Walker. All right, the Man City fan. All right, there you go. All right, thank you very much, Maliek. All the best to you. Still to come on the SportsMax Zone. Horse racing lovers, we know Thursday is your most cherished day of the week. Later in the show, Lance, we'll have another exciting edition of At the Track. Mariah Karashma continues to have, there she is, a whale of a time in TNT. She spoke with some of the most influential persons associated with this edition of the Hero Caribbean Premier League. We'll get to that in short order. After the break, we'll talk Europa League, Manchester United's 37-year-old scoring. But guess what? He wasn't the oldest goal scorer on the day. I'll tell you who that was after this break.